Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome to this, and welcome back for another show on the channel. Can you see me okay? Can you hear me, guys? Let me know in the comments down below. Good to see you. For those that are tuning in on this Thursday evening, again, this show has had to be delayed, and it was also in the doubt that tonight's show was going to go ahead. So basically what happened was, work Sunday, work Monday, Tuesday I meant to be at the football. I ended up, not going to the football, put it that way, just watching the results come in, and results come in our favour, with really only Doncaster getting 3 points, but I don't think they're nothing to worry about. This is where they are to worry about after I said that. Morecambe losing. Wednesday night, again, couldn't do the show due to other reasons as well. But we are back on a Thursday, and I hope you guys are all okay. Hello, Nat, you all right? Hello, Alec, you all right? Hello, Dave, Connor, Alex, Joe. I hope you're all doing well. Sheffield Wednesday are going up. Now, again, I've had a look mainly into the bottom six this evening. We're going to go through that in a bit, where we've gone through the run-ins and I predicted if they're going to win, draw, or lose. Now, by the way, I have three sides before, all finishing on 44 points. And it could come down to goal difference. It really could. And I have a couple of teams just finishing on, 41, 30. I think Barker have got finishing on 31 points. Every team in League One, I think, can stay up this season. I think Doncaster and Gillingham are going to struggle. I just think with Doncaster, how many games they played 4 more than us, and they're just below us. If they go and get 6 wins, 2 draws in the next 12 games, they've got a huge possibility of staying up. I think 48 points this season could be enough to stay up. Again, so we're going to go through all the games on Saturday. Now, it was a mental Saturday, put it that way. Now, I was off to Lincoln at home. Now, I was a bit fragile, I'll be honest with you. But again, it ended up getting postponed. 14 days unbeaten. And then ended up staying in the bar all day, which was not a bad way. And then Tuesday, stadium damage. Again, another game off. So, again, I've had time to reflect on the game this weekend and have a look. And results have gone to my team's favour as well. So, again, we're going to start off with Saturday's games, and we'll get into Tuesday's games a bit later in the show. But Bolton 4, Wimbledon 0. Now, Bolton back-to-back wins this weekend. They also beat Lincoln on Tuesday night. Now, that's 2 sides that are in the bottom 7, the bottom 8, that they should be beating. But early on in the season, they struggled against those sorts of sides. That is now 8 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat in the last 10 games. Bolton have picked up 25 points, 2.5 points per game, after, pretty much only getting that in the previous, maybe 21 games. So, they've done really well. They've won the last 6 on the bounce at home. Now, I saw them in the game before that at the Morecambe where they lost 2-0 to Wycombe and they were poor. And I said they could get dragged into the relegation zone if they're not too careful. And what they've done since, they have brought some excellent players into the club. They brought Kyle Dempsey in. They brought Dion Charles in. I know he played against Wycombe that night. James Trafford in goal has been brilliant. I think Marlon Fossey is a contender. I know he's only played 8 or 9 times, but he could be a contender for player of the season for Bolton. He's been excellent since joining. He scored the other weekend's Oxford as well in that 3-2 win away from home. So again, they've just got playing again. They did this last year, remember, Bolton, where they didn't start so well, but end up finishing really, really strong. And if they can do that again, they'll be in with a chance. But Wimbledon, you've got to look at it. They only scored 1 goal in the last 4. Now, I think Robinson's under a bit of pressure here. Now, they always go for an understudy at Wimbledon, pretty much. And then it never works out. Well, it works out at the start. They get a bit of honeymoon period. They keep them up. And then they get sacked like the next season or the season after. Wimbledon are 14 without a win. Now, they've drawn 8, lost 6. Now, if you look at the home record, they've won 2 out of 16 games at home. Now, they have played some poorer sides at home this season already. Wimbledon's remaining games are quite tough as well, by the way. Wimbledon have Doncaster, Wigan, Plymouth, Lincoln, Cheltenham, Charlton, Cambridge, all coming up in the next few games as well. So it's going to be a tough running for them. Yes, I know they've drawn 10 games at home, but teams like Fleetwood coming, teams like Shrewsbury coming, you should be just beating. And that's why they're in this situation right now. They don't look like they've got a goal scorer. They're missing Joe Pigott, obviously. I do like Rudani, Assel, and McCormick. Those three are a very good attacking three. But, I know they scored 18 goals between them. If they had a Joe Pigott in front of them, they miss Ollie Palmer because Ollie Palmer was more than just goals. I know they got a great fee for him, but for me, Ollie Palmer offered so much more. He offered a bit of a release. He could hold it up, a bit of experience as well. So for me, I do think that is a big loss, and it could hinder Wimbledon. Do I think they'll stay up? Soon we'll see, because we've done all the predictions, and we'll get onto that in a bit. But Charlton, who started the season like that, went like that, honeymoon period down there. Charlton 0, Oxford 4. Again, brilliant week for Oxford. 2 wins away from home, away at Charlton, away at Crewe, 5 goals scored. Matty Taylor, 16 goals for the season now, and he's an unbelievable tally of 50 goals now in League One for that man in an Oxford United shirt. He's been excellent for them. He scored 17 the past 2 seasons. He's going to stride over that this season. He's already on 16. You got Brannigan on 10 goals now this season as well. He's chipping in. White the other day got 3 assists. Got 9 assists this season. They've got such a strong side all over the pitch. And by the way, Oxford have lost some big players this season. They lost Jordan Thornley, which was a big blow. They could have lost Brannigan, and Brannigan not getting his move, it could have gone a totally different way as well. So, again, they've strengthened well. They've got, the depth in the squad. They've got a great manager there, and I do think Oxford will be, fighting for that, promotion places this season. Again, going away at Crewe, winning 1-0. I think Crewe are a poor side, but we'll get on to them in a little bit. Charlton have lost the last 4 games. They conceded 10 in that run. 4 to Oxford, 2 to Bolton away from home, where they should be winning. Or at least getting a point in these situations. They've got Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland coming up next. I would say it's going to get a little bit easier, but Sunderland at the minute is, not a bad team to play at the minute. If I'm being honest, Sunderland are absolutely, awful. They've won 10 of the last 28 games, and this is the side that I was told were going to win the league 2 months ago. And, I got hammered on here because I said Sunderland weren't the real deal. And, 1 win in the last 6. No win in the last 6, 1 win in the last 11. I think, Sunderland are on the drop, and, I don't think teams fear them anymore. But Charlton, again, just need to get back to basics. They won the previous 3 games before this. So, again, got to stop the rot as soon as possible, even if it's a draw. Again, great result away for Oxford, though. Again, scoring 7 away at Gills, 4 away at Charlton. They're just the entertainers of League One, Oxford. And I think they're a brilliant side, and this is why I think they'll be okay. And they'll be, right up there this year, I think. And they've got close the last 2 seasons. They've not done it in the playoff semi-finals, against the last few years, but they got to the final and the semi-final and then struggle. But Cambridge 2, Morecambe 0. Now Cambridge have won the last 2 games 2-0. Acton have lost the last 2 games 2-0. So again, a bit of a pattern. Acton won the previous 2 before this. Away from home, they're not great. Let's be honest with you. Only 12 points they've collected away from home. They've won 9 times at home, which has been brilliant for them this year. But Cambridge are a strong side, especially at home. 27 of the 44 points this season have come at home for Cambridge. Sam Smith is scoring goals, 2 and 2 for that man, 9 for the season now. Again, him and Joe Ironside have basically kept Cambridge going. They're on 44 points now. I think they maybe need another 5 or 6 to stay up, but they're within touching distance. Mark Bonner's done a very good job there. It's not getting recommendation enough for me, and fair play. Fair play for Mark Bonner doing that. I think he's a good manager. I think John Coleman was a good manager as well. 2 good sides that are doing well in League One, and I think that will are in that position now where I don't think they've got anything to play for. And if you ask both managers at the start of the season, look, with 12, 13 games to go? Would you like having nothing to play for? I think John Conley will be a little bit disappointed that they've not kicked on and challenged for the top 6. I know it's mental saying that, but that's Accrington Stanley for you. They go on every year, and he sets those standards where he wants to be up them every year. But I think it's a huge opportunity, and Doncaster again, a mixed week for them. A defeat at home to Sheffield Wednesday. They were leading for a long period in that game as well, and then they're going to beat Accrington at home. Now, the last 10 games, Doncaster have improved. They've got 1.2 points a game, 12 points, 4 wins. They've lost 6. Now, if they can turn 2 or 3 of those defeats into just draws, you're then all of a sudden at 15 points. You're 3 points extra on, and you're kicking on, and you're so much closer. And that's where Doncaster have just gone a little bit wrong lately, I think, where they've just lost too many games, where you think they've improved, they just don't draw enough. I know it's mad to say that you don't draw enough, you want wins. And they've got some great results away lately. Sunderland, MK Dons, Accrington's a good victory as well. I just think that so inconsistent. 1 minute they're going to be really good, 1 minute they're really bad. But a couple of months ago they were just really bad. There was no really good. They have improved under Gary McSheffrey. They've got a better squad now. Again, so I do think they're going to go down. I'll be honest with you. Doncaster, when I predicted the points, I've got them to finish on 41 points. Now, that is a good tally for Doncaster, which I never thought they'd even get into the 30s. At one stage, I never thought they'd get over 10 points, if I'm honest with you. That's how poor they were. But scoring 10 goals in the season was a tough ask for them earlier on in the season. But Sheffield Wednesday, good away result that for them. 5 wins of the last 6. They're improving nicely. The game against Accrington got called off last week due to a waterlogged pitch. So, much better for Wednesday. Great away result. And then, again, a lot of backlog, though, for Sheffield Wednesday due to, Fleetwood's, dodgy pitch and ground and, their own. It's not going to suit their playing style because Darren Moore, we saw at Doncaster, the way he likes to play football, it doesn't really suit, that Sheffield Wednesday pitch, if I'm honest with you. They scored 2 in 24 seconds. I know. It's like when the floodgates open. I think those teams at the bottom, when they concede, their heads go a little bit. They're all right at 1-0 or even 1-1. As soon as they concede another one, that's when the head goes and they don't have the belief. Hello, Jaden. You're right. Good to see you in here. What a poor result for you the other day, eh? It's also, I don't think Plymouth are having a... I think Plymouth will get into the playoffs, if I'm honest with you. I think... I've done my playoffs today, and I went through it before I came on air. There are 2 or 3 teams that are not in it. Plymouth are in it, but we'll go through it at the end of the show. But there's so many big teams that are outside, just chilling outside the playoffs. Like, you look at the League One table, right, and you've got probably three or four of the biggest football clubs in League One outside the playoffs. You've got Wick and Burton. No, I'm only joking. You've got Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich, Bolton and Portsmouth in 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. And then you've got MK Dons, Oxford, Plymouth in the playoffs. Sunderland as well, relatively small club. I'm only joking. Some Sunderland fans will actually take that seriously. That's the funniest thing about it. And you look at, Plymouth are trending in the right direction. You look at their home atmosphere and the support is unbelievable. Oxford are the same. I remember when they beat Fleetwood Oxford, they beat us 3-1 and they did like a lap of it and they stayed for about 5 or 10 minutes. Now we sat Grayson that night as well, so it wasn't all bad. And I just said, I went, look at what they're doing to compare what we're doing. Straight down the tunnel, heads down, they're buzzing, they're believing. It's November. And I said, that's playoffs here. They'll easily. And I did say at the time they'll challenge for top 2. Could they now? I don't think so. I do think that they're that type of side that are solid enough. They scored 61 goals, which is the most in League One, by the way, Oxford, which is an unbelievable achievement. They scored more than Rotherham. And Wigan, who like late goals, they scored 5 more than Wigan. I know they played 3 more games, but they're up there for a reason. And then you got MK Dons, who've won over half the games. They're unbeaten in the last 7 away games. They've won 5, drawn 2. So that is unbelievable. Like, there's so many good, stronger sides that have had a good season, but then the bigger teams have just fluffed to deceive. Do you know what I mean? Like, Portsmouth get a couple of wins. They won the last 3, but it wouldn't surprise me if they went to go. Well, they played Fleetwood. After that, they went to go and not win the next 2 or 3 games. It's one of those types of teams. Ipswich have improved of late. They're on 2.09 points per game under McKenna. So it's a huge improvement really. But again, we're going to go on to the next game. League One, Fulham. League One, Wes. He had a great game yesterday, didn't he? Donny might stay up. I hope not. I honestly, I must admit, we're going to get on to Morecambe in a minute because Derek Adams has gone back in. That could be the difference. We've got a couple of points to prove on that. Gills 0, Plymouth 2. Again, then Plymouth going to lose 2-0 to Cambridge. Plymouth, again, are doing okay. They're doing okay. Garrick, again, has been excellent of late, by the way. 2 goals, 3 assists in his last 5 or 6 games. Jeff got up to 9 goals for the season. They're brilliant away. They've not played as many home games as, they have away. I think they played something like 18 away games and they've only played 14 home games. So, again, home park, I've just said how intimidating that atmosphere can be. It could be the big difference between them going up and staying in League One. Gillingham, no win in the last 3. They've improved defensively. They conceded 2 goals at home. Lincoln away up next. They've got to go and win that. Otherwise, I think they're done. Gills are another side that I've got Gills to finish on 39 points. I've got Doncaster to actually finish in front of Gillingham. Again, Gillingham have got some big games in there. When you look at the games that Gillingham have got a target points on, they've got Lincoln away. They've got Doncaster away. They've got Accrington coming up. They've got, Cheltenham coming up. They've got Fleetwood coming up. There's some big games. The last day of the season, they actually played Rotherham at home. And then before that, they played Portsmouth. So it's going to be a really, really tight battle. But again, Plymouth are a good side and they're going to be up there for a reason, aren't they? And, Ipswich 3, Burton 0. Now, Ipswich, 11 games now under McKenna. They picked up 23 points, 2.09 points per game. Now, they've won as many games under McKenna in 11 games as they did under Cook in the previous amount of games as well. So, they've kept 8 clean sheets in 11, by the way, now. It's a huge improvement. Fair play to them. And I like that a lot because they were conceding a lot of goals, Ipswich. They were, they'd score 4, but they conceded 2 of them. They couldn't always score 4, so they were losing games of football or drawing. The good thing is, they know now they're going to at least draw a game, or if they concede 1, they've got the quality to score 1 to get a point. And players like Jackson, Norwood, those types of players have come back into their own under the new manager. And that's what I like. There's no big hitters. There obviously are the better players. I think Burns has done really well since he's come in. But they've got more players fighting for him. Now, if Ipswich carried on this points tally, they've got some tough games coming up. They'd end up on 78 points. Now, the next 3 games they play Fleetwood, Morecambe and Lincoln in there. They've got to go and get a minimum of 7 points. A minimum, if they're serious about promotion. But they've been in this situation before where they've been so close and they've bottled it. But, 4 good points. The problem is Ipswich fans were gutted the other day leaving the stadium, and Cheltenham did a number on them. That's what Cheltenham do. Because they did 5 against Wickham and drew 5-5. But they normally make teams very hard to play against. They set up well. They're like Burnley in League One. They're just so well organised, frustrating to play against. They get in the shape really well and proper sound. It's like, what you're going to get. Pretty much. It's like going to, a services, getting a McDonald's, you know what you're going to get. Plain simple. And it's always, normally most of the time, proper good. Unless it gives you food poisoning. Again, Sunderland 1, MK Dons 2. MK Dons are a good side. They're 4 points ahead of Oxford, 7 points ahead of Plymouth, 7 ahead of Sunderland, 8 points ahead of Wickham. They're unbelievable away. 7, unbeaten in the last 7. Again, unbeaten in the last 9 games away. They've won 7, drawn 2. Sunderland, though, are an absolute embarrassment. No win in 6. They've lost 4, drawn 2. 1 win in 11. Lost 4. They just lose too many games. 1 win in 10, sorry. Come on. You've got to improve from that. 3 wins in 13, which, a little bit better. 11 wins in 28 games. 11 wins in 28 games. Over the season, that looks to be about 16 wins. That's 48 points. You know, they're probably averaging maybe 55, 60 points a season on that basis at the moment, Sunderland. By the way, that would be probably enough for a finish between 14th and 17th. And in the last 3 games, Sunderland conceded the first goal, and they've had nothing. They've had absolutely nothing. I know on Tuesday they scored a last-minute goal against Burton. Ross Stewart is up to 20 goals for the season, which is an unbelievable tally. But where's the mentality? Where's the character? Where's the get up and go? Like, for me, you can change the manager, you can change the players. I just think it's that football club that does things to people. Like, it's like Tottenham of the Premier League. It's always the same players, different management, always the same results. Now, they've changed players. They've gone for different styles. Now, they've gone from Grayson, proven, done it. Then they went to Coleman, better football, didn't do it. Then they went for Jack Ross, didn't do it. Most of the time he just drew too many games. Phil Parkinson, won promotions out of League One, not the greatest of football. Lee Johnson probably had Sunderland playing the best football they played in a while, but was still in League One. Now you've got Alex Neil, who is a very good tactician. He's a very good manager. But is he going to be another good manager that goes to Sunderland and fails? Goes to these big League One clubs and fails. Because there's some big clubs in League One that have had good managers and have had good results under the manager and probably done well, but they've always been forced out of the club. Is Alex Neil going to be another one? Because he did a very good job at Preston. Now, I get told he didn't win the promotion. He didn't get into the top 6. He had a bottom 6 budget at Preston, and he was making them challenge for the top 6 in his first 3 years at Preston. And in his 4th year, he got let down financially. They sold his best players, and he had nothing to rely on. So I just worry, and I don't worry. I don't care really, but Sunderland have got to get back to winning ways as soon as possible because they've got 12 games left, and I think they need about 21 points. Well, are Sunderland going to win 7 out of the last 12 the way they're going? Like, they might get 14 points, but that's nowhere going to be near enough because I think Plymouth, Oxford, MK Dons, even Sheffield Wednesday, even Portsmouth who are picking up, Bolton, they're just getting started. Even if Sunderland got into the playoffs, they're going in with that little bit of iffy bit, stop-start. And that never bodes well. The team that normally win the playoffs going on a good run. Barnes a couple of years ago, they went on an unbelievable unbeaten run. They won the playoffs. Wickham, they got in off points per game. They were buzzing to get into the playoffs. Whereas Portsmouth, Oxford and Fleetwood were a little bit disappointed they missed out on the top 2. Facts. And then last year, Blackpool went up after being on an unbelievable run playing Saturday, Tuesday, winning games of football. But MK Dons are a good side. Connor Wickham, the former Sunderland man, scoring it. They're an unbelievable side, and they are getting no plaudits at all. By the way, they lost their manager a week before the season, and they just carried on. Some of the players you've got in that dressing room: Wickham, Scott Twine. Come on, Iesa. They've lost Ethan Robson, by the way. They've lost O'Reilly, the main 2 midfielders that allowed that front 4 to go and be who they were. Did they moan? No. They went out in the market and they've gone and got results. That is a proper football team. And that is why I could see MK Dons winning the playoffs at this moment in time. I don't think there's a better team in League One at the minute than MK Dons. I think they are the toughest team to play against. The way they move the ball, the way they transition, unreal. Who do you think would win the game if it wasn't postponed? I think it would have been a draw, mate. A draw. We should beat Sunderland easily. MK Dons versus Bolton. MK Dons win for me. And finally, Wycombe 5, Cheltenham 5. Well, Cheltenham went 1-0 up, then 3-1 down, then 3-3, then 5-3 down, and then 5-5. Alfie May got 4 goals. Now, early in the season, I said on this show, Alfie May is in my top 5 strikers in League One. after I watched him at Fleetwood. Now, I've always liked him, I'll be honest, because he only scored 9 goals last year. So what I did, I went to go and watch, a compilation of him and, some key bits, what he does in the 90 minutes. Now, he gets in pockets. He gets in behind. He's a nightmare. He's quick. He's agile. Like a burglar in your house, basically. Like, you don't know where he's going to go. He's quick-footed. He's fast. He's paceful. He's agile. That's what you want in a striker. He's got 15 goals this season in League One. I know he scored 4 the other day. But 15 goals. He will go and get 20 goals this season, I think. But they give the ball to him. They play to his game. And he's a poacher. He gets in good areas. He's like Paddy Madden. Paddy Madden's one of the best strikers League One has, ever seen. Up there with those top players over the years. That scored goal after Matty Taylor, I think, is up there as well now with what he's done recently, and especially in the game. But Alfie May's a superb player. 24 goals for him in the last, 1 3/4 seasons. But Wickham have conceded 8 goals in the last 2 home games and not looking convincing. The last 6 games, they've drawn 3, lost 3. Now, if you remember rightly, this is where they started to go a bit pear-shaped last year before the pandemic happened and the season got curtailed. I do think Wickham will hit back. Playing Cheltenham and Wigan are 2 tough games. I think you should be targeting 3 or 4 points. But that's not a Wickham performance conceding 8 goals. That's where they've just got to tighten up because that's where they can win games. Because I said bar Sam Vokes, and Brandon Hanlon, I don't think they've got many match winners in that side. So that's what they did so well. They get 1 goal and sit it out. A back 5, you've got Grimmer, you've got Tazza Foley, you've got Joe Jacobson, who was played a little bit less centre half this year, mainly. A bit more deeper. You've got those type of players that can get you the odd goal as well. But for me, you've just got to keep that back door shut a little bit more if they're gonna stay up. Hello, Jake. You all right, mate? How do you feel, Derek back? Now we're gonna get on to this. Now, again, some big games on Tuesday. You talk about Rotherham winning 2-0 against Morecambe. Now, Stephen Robinson left Morecambe Monday night, Tuesday morning, and he went to St Mirren. Now, a lot of Morecambe fans called him a snake, and rightly so. He sold a vision to the board. Now, Derek Adams left. If you don't know, Derek Adams came in about a third way through the season, a couple of years ago when Jim Bentley left for Fylde. And basically, he came in and he said, I remember him saying, I think we can win promotion. And everyone laughed at him. Everyone called him deluded. Now, if you look at his stats, Derek Adams, he had a win-draw percentage, right? 72%, Partick Thistle, then 67%. Ross County, again, similar. Morecambe and Bradford, similar. He's only got maybe a 1 in 3, 1 in 3.5 lose record. Now, that's going to come in handy. Now, I believe Morecambe, where they sit now, are going to probably need another 15, 16 points. I was also surprised that Morecambe wouldn't have sacked Stephen Robinson because I don't think they could afford it, if I'm honest with you. And he did have them playing okay stuff, and they have improved, which is so weird. The last 2 months, they have played some good stuff, and they should have won a lot more games. They've been so unlucky. A bit like Fleetwood were early in the season, but sometimes when you're in a relegation dogfight, you just don't get the ball to drop to you. And they've won 3 out of the last 23 games. 6 wins over 46 games, that would be. Now, that is sacking form. And somehow, he's gone and got another job based off that form. Now, Morecambe are a side that are probably a bottom 6, bottom 8 club. But I don't think they're a relegation side club. You've got Cole Stockton, you've got Obika, who's a good player. You've got Adam Phillips, Wildick. Carson's a good goalkeeper who they brought in on loan. Cooney's a good player as well. I like Anthony O'Connor. They've got a good squad at Morecambe. I hate saying it. I know they've lost a couple of players along the way, who they had on loan. But they've got a decent enough squad. And I don't think he was doing an overly good job right there. And I'll be honest with you, if Stephen Robinson stayed in charge of Morecambe, I'd have him down. I'd have him relegated. But Derek Adams coming in, that's a totally different ball game because he will get them with a spine. He will get them nasty to play against. You don't want to play Morecambe because you know if they get one goal, they're just going to shut you out and be so defensively organised. They're going to run and run and run for the cause. Now, I think Morecambe have got a huge opportunity to stay up now under Derek Adams, and it scares me to say that. You know, you look at the players that you've got at the football club that they had last year. Now, Toumani Digarara, who's been excellent for Morecambe, very underrated player for them. He's worked with before at Plymouth and last year as well. He's going to be straight in. Aaron Wildig, who's been a bit quiet this year, he will be back in because I think he got something like 10 goals, 8 assists last season, which was his best ever season. And then you've also got to look at the likes of Adam Phillips, who we had on loan at the start of last year. And then he went back to Burnley and joined Accrington on loan. Now he's back there as well. He has lost some big players from last season, that promotion squad. You probably lost 4 of the key players that got in promotion. Cal Leathering, who left a couple of weeks ago. Jansen Ogu, who joined at Bradford. Again, Mendes Gomez, who's now at Lincoln. And then, you know, they've lost, you know, other big players as well. You know, Sam Lavelle, who's a big, you know, I think he went to go and play 200 times for Morecambe, and he was, you know, a cult hero, probably a Morecambe legend. So I do think they're a little bit weaker than that squad last year, even though they're a league above. But Derek Adams knows League One and League Two. And he didn't do a bad job at Bradford, by the way. He just drew too many games. And if you don't win your four games at Bradford, like it's like Sunderland, you know, like these big clubs, they just sack you, which is, you know, ridiculous. But Morecambe have got a huge chance, and I do think he'll get them playing, and I do think he will maybe give them an extra 5 points this season. You know, he got them playing really good stuff at home last year. Away from home, they were pretty solid as well. They won't have much possession. They won't have many. They won't be playing flair football, but they'll win games of football. And I'll be honest with you, on Tuesday, I did some prep for the show when I thought Stephen Robinson was still going to be in charge before the rumours came out. I had them finishing on 37, 38 points. I've now got Morecambe finished on 44/47 points. By the way, for example, I've got Fleetwood finishing between 44 and 46. And Wimbledon finished on 46 as well. So that is how a manager can change. And even if they go down, he should be appreciated by Morecambe fans. What he did last year was unbelievable. And I don't think he's got any pressure on him, which I think will help. If you look where he's been, Ross County, you know, those types of clubs, I believe he's done better. I know he won promotion with Plymouth. Again, jeopardised a little bit. Plymouth and Bradford, not the greatest of jobs, even though he won promotion with Plymouth. Morecambe, you know, Ross County, his time in Scotland, very well. And I think that'll continue. I just bloody hope that doesn't continue because I can't be bothered. Charlton getting relegated? Nah, not a chance. Looking forward to the Konami. Keep the questions coming in, guys. Now, we're going to go on to the running now in Sky Bet League One. Now, Crew, I've got finished on 31 points. Now, they've got some really tough games coming up. You know, I think the games that they have to target to win are all of them, really, if they want to stay up. You know, you've got Fleetwood, you've got Cheltenham in there, but they've also got Wycombe, Sunderland, Wigan, Bolton and MK Dons all together, which is a brutal run of form, and I do think they'll be down. Gills, I think, are as good as down. I think they'll finish at about 38, 39 points. Again, I think it's an improvement. I do think they'll pick up some vital points. Doncaster, I've got on 41. They've improved lately. I just think they're going to run out of games, basically. I think they're only in this position now because they played 2 or 3 more games than the rest, which sometimes can work to your favour. You'd rather have points on the board than games in hand. Like, if I'm honest with you, in a relegation dogfight, I'd rather have 4 points and 3 games in hand, in my opinion, or 3, maybe 2 points and 2 games in hand at times, because, you know, you can easily go and lose 2 amounts, or you can easily go and win 2 amounts. It's so weird how this league works out. Morecambe, again, I've got them drawn at Ipswich and Plymouth. I've got them getting a point away at Bolton, beating Cheltenham, not getting anything out of Wigan and Oxford, beating Burton, drawn at Cambridge, getting nothing against Charlton, beating Portsmouth, by the way, which is a big shout. MK not getting anything. Sunderland on the last day getting a point. That'd take them to 44 points, which normally League One will send you down. But I think this year you could be with an opportunity. But I've already got my bottom three. Fleetwood are another one who have got on 44 points. And I said all season it will go down to the last day. And I'll let you into a secret. I was sat here and I did all my League One predictions. And I did it for maybe 10 days, kept changing it with business. And I had Fleetwood in the bottom four all the time. And I got round to filming it and I bottled it, like I always bottle things. And I put Fleetwood in 20th and Morecambe in 21st. Now, Fleetwood have a tougher run in. They have Portsmouth, Wigan, Ipswich and Sunderland coming up next. Then they've got Doncaster, Wickham, Crewe, Accrington, Oxford, Gills, Wimbledon and Bolton. And I think Fleetwood will get to 44 points. I think Crewe, Gills and Doncaster will be relegated on the last day. And I think the last place will be between Morecambe, Wimbledon and Fleetwood. And I think Lincoln, Shrewsbury will be okay. I think it'll be between Morecambe, Wimbledon and Fleetwood for that last day spot. But I think Morecambe, if I'm honest with you, I think Wimbledon will be acting on the last day of the season. With Accrington having nothing to play for, I think they'll win. And they always somehow pull a rabbit out of the hat. I've got Fleetwood and Morecambe getting a point on the last day of Peach as well. So it's going to go down to the last day of the season. So you let me know, guys, who is going down, because I can't predict it. I really can't. It's one of those, really. So it's a big, it's a big ask. We'll go on to the League One table now. Rotherham 72 points. Rotherham got 72 points, by the way, and it's February. They could have, to be honest with you, this time, 10 days, could have over 80 points in March. 80 points. Like, it's ridiculous. It's 5 times all season, Rotherham. Wigan scored goals for fun. Mainly late goals. 66 points. And then I think MK Dons, Oxford and Plymouth will get into the playoffs. I think they are 3 that I do think are consistent. At the minute, I think Ipswich will get him. If I'm being honest with you, I think Ipswich will get him. Just because the run that they're on, they're only 4 points off. I know they play more games than Sheffield Wednesday and more games than Wickham and so on. But if they carry on this form, they're grinding out wins. When we said because he did 38 goals a couple of months ago, that was a lot. They've now got one of the best defences in League One, which is, this is how we can turn just a couple of games. So, really, really well done. And then I think you've got the mini league starting from Cambridge, Burton, Accrington, Cheltenham, and possibly Charlton are in a mini league of their own. Charlton could get dragged back into it, but I do think Charlton will be okay. And then I think Lincoln, Shrewsbury are the better 2. Again, Lincoln are asking for Appleton out, which I think is harsh. No questions will be asked at Lincoln, by the way, if they didn't have the season that they had last year. That is the only reason why pressure is on. And Fleetwood, Wimbledon, Morecambe. Now, Fleetwood got 2 in hand on Wimbledon and on the same points. 2 ahead of Morecambe, 2 in hand. The 2 in hand are against Lincoln and Sheffield Wednesday. They got 3 ahead of Gills, the 5 points. And I don't think if you want to stay up, you have to worry about them. I think you're worrying about the teams above you. Like I say, so it's going to be a big run in it. I really do believe that. Yeah, so keep the comments coming, guys. We're going to come to a Q&A in just a minute. Wimbledon will definitely win on Saturday. It's just dodgy everything to do. Win 1, lose 1, draw 1, pretty much. Hey, Mouse for Oxford. Good side. If you're new to the channel, guys, please give this channel video stream a like. We're on 17 likes. Let's see if we can fly to 40 likes. And also, guys, if you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe. We've got 15 games, Fleetwood, in the last 63 days. We've got vlogs on all them. We've got another 10 League One shows coming up. We've got playoff live stream watch-alongs coming up. We've hopefully got a ground hop coming as well, a few ground hops. I have been out to some football lately. I went to Burnley last night against Tottenham. I watched Bolton against Wickham a few weeks ago as well. So we're going to go out and watch some League One football. So get subscribed. It does help me out a lot, and all that jazz. Again, I just need your guys' support. Again, we're going to come on to the we put out on YouTube yesterday. Twitter yesterday. If you don't follow that, FDFC Nappers on Twitter, that is where we always go to when we are going live. So if you do want to give us a follow on there, like I say, we announce all the shows and stuff of when we're going to go live. So you want to keep your comments coming. We'll have a little bit of a Q&A for 10 or 15 minutes. But we're going to start off with the questions sent in on Twitter yesterday. We'll just go and get them up again. So, again, it's been a big week in League One, I do think. I do think that it's going to... What these types of weeks define seasons, these 3-game weeks. There's a lot of games in hand coming up on Tuesdays as well. Again, when he asked Lincoln again, asking for Appleton now, no plan B, thanks in advance. Now, when I watched Lincoln, I've watched Lincoln a couple of times lately. I watched them a little bit against Wigan early in the season when they actually won that game. And they beat Fleetwood. Same scoreline. And I watched them in the playoffs as well. I watched all 3 games in the playoffs. We did live streams for them as well. So what I said, to be fair, at Sunderland, they were poor first half. They were 2-0 down. It went to 2-2. He came out, made a sub. McGrandles changed the game. However, in the playoffs, the plan was to basically soak up the pressure and nick a goal. Now, they did that in the first, 50-odd seconds. Now, after that, they looked a little bit like, whoa, what do we do now? And there was nothing really that was sent on from the sidelines. Nothing was implemented after half-time, even when it was 1-1. So I can agree with the plan B. But I do think Lincoln will be okay this season. I think it's one of those where you've got to give them to the end of the season and then maybe look who's available, because I do think you were very much low in FC. Fleetwood have been vulnerable. I think Shrewsbury, who've had one good season and then dropped off. But I do think you've got to stick with Appleton because he's a very good manager. And I do think if you can get some quality in the summer, I do think you'll be more than okay. Tony Putt, he always comes in with the questions. Ipswich were 11th when they sacked Paul Cook. Sunderland were 3rd when Lee Johnson was potted. Now sitting 9th and 6th. How funny do other fans find it that these so-proclaimed massive clubs have appeared to spend fortunes and spending another season in League One? Now, again, we'll start off with Sunderland. Now, I thought Lee Johnson was sacked harshly, but some of the results wasn't right. Losing away at Portsmouth 4-0, losing away at Sheffield Wednesday 3-0, losing 6-0 away at Bolton. These are one-offs. You know what I mean? They were, but we've since seen with Sunderland, if you look over the recent history, it's not the managers, it's the football club. It's just such a, I don't know, it gets to you. I think ruins you as a manager. It ruined Grayson, to be honest. Parkinson's been damaged by it. That's why he's managing in the National League now. You look at, Jack Ross again. He was absolutely drained after Sunderland. These managers are absolutely drained after managing Sunderland. I don't know what it is. Is it the expectations? Is it the amount of money that you get? Is it the fans? Because Sunderland are a massive... They get 35,000 fans in League One. So, Johnson is a good manager, and I do think he would have got them into the playoffs eventually, but some of these results wasn't right. But it wasn't Lee Johnson's fault. And I think you've got to have a look at, the downstairs, the behind the scenes, the other types of coaches, what they're doing, how they're spending the money at Sunderland, because I think there's a lot more than meets the eye. I think the players are okay. They've got some good players, Stewart, Pritchard, decent enough players. I do think they're an average League One side overall, if I'm honest with you. I think they've got some good players. Early in the season, I said that it wasn't the best squad that they had in League One, but they had a good cliche and a good click. Sometimes that doesn't last forever. A couple of defeats can, damage squad morale, and that's what you rely on. A bit like what Wickham do. Sometimes it can be damaged. Ipswich have improved, in fairness, Tony. 8 clean sheets, 7 wins, over 2 points per game. And they were playing catch. The problem is they just lost, and drop points at crucial times where they probably needed to gain another 3 or 4 points to be within a shout of the playoffs. I do think they will be in with a shout. Oops, we'll tell you what, Butterfingers. Of a shout of the playoffs, but a long way to go. A long way to go. And again, sacking managers doesn't always guarantee success. And I think you've got Watford to show for that as well. Who is my top 3 to go up in League One? Oh, good question, Paul. I think Rotherham and Wigan are up, and I think MK Dons will win the playoffs. I just think the top 2 are miles above, and I think MK Dons are miles above as well. I think it'll be an MK Dons Oxford final, if I'm honest with you. I think it's 2 good sides, 2 sides that play the right way, score lots of goals, give the players freedom to express themselves. And 2 good managers, Carl Robinson, Liam Manning, top managers. I'll win it. Wigan winning the league. I think Rotherham will win it. I think they're just a bit more solid than Wigan. Wigan look like they could slip up a little bit more, but I do think they'll go top 2. You're coming to Wigan next week. Of course I am, mate. Of course I am, Joe. Looking forward to that. Who are my top current 5 players in League One? Oh, Scott Twine, got to be up there. Ross Stewart, Cole Stockton. So many. Oh, there's 3. Because, there's many to pick from. McConville's had a good season. I won't put him in my top 5, but he's had an unbelievable season. I like Ryan Hardy at Plymouth. He's in, with a shout as well. I like Matty Taylor. I like Cameron Brannigan. Just picking 5s. Just Barry Banning's up there with a shout. I think you got some good young players in this league. I think White's a good player as well from Oxford. Morsey's a good player. So many to pick from. Again, what would be my dream team out of League One current players for each position? Oh, good question. Goalkeeper. Oof, who would I have in goal? I'd probably have Cumming. I like him a lot. MK Dons. Left back, I'm going to go for Danny Andrew. I'm going to be biased. I think the goals and assists he gets from left back. Centre halves, I'll go for Watmore at Wigan. I like him a lot. And Tazza I think that's a solid 2. Right back, Derikwa at Wigan. Unbelievable every time I've seen him. Midfield 3, I would have had O'Reilly in, but obviously he's gone. I'm going to have Barry Bannon in, just for his influence on Sheffield Wednesday. Scott Twine's got to go in as well, I think. I'm going to go 4-4-2. Attack. My front 2 is going to be Stewart and Stockton. I know 2 big men together don't normally, work out. Maybe I have Callum Lang on one of the wings as well. I think he's an exceptional talent. I've loved Callum Lang for a long time. Who am I going for my last position? Athlon, yeah, good shout. Good young player. He's been brilliant of late. It's so hard to think when you've not got players in front of you and you haven't got like a selection and you just think of names off the top of your head. There's obviously going to be players that you miss out. I just think he's a 7 or an 8 out of 10. And in a dream team, you need those types of players. Top 10 fan base in League One. Fleetwood, Accrington, Wimbledon, Burton, Morecambe. No, I'm only joking. Again, we're going to do a video on this next week, so you can wait for that one. Again, you reckon Bolton will get the playoffs? I think it's going to be a tough one, mate. I don't think Bolton will get the playoffs. I think you've left it a little bit too late. But why not? They're always in with a shout as well. So, keep the comments coming on here, guys. I'll have another 5 minutes of a Q&A. So keep the questions to come in. Tell Edgar Johnson to get his boots back on. Do you think Danny Kelly can get Portsmouth promoted? I think it's going to be a 2 or 3 year plan. I think you've got to be patient because your squad at the minute isn't good enough, in my opinion. I think it's one of those where I just don't think you're good enough at this moment in time, man for man. I think you've got an okay 6 or a 7 aside team, but bar that, I think you're one of those. Prediction for Sunderland, Wigan. I think Wigan will win that. Wigan will win that with being at home. Again, Saturday's fixtures are the opening day's fixtures, aren't they? Again, we both, but a lot of sides have come a long, long way in that period of time. If I was to ask you, with your team at the minute, are you happy with your current season? Would you have taken this 9 months ago? 7, 8 months ago? Let me know what you say, because as a Fleetwood fan, I'd take where Fleetwood are in the league right now, 100%. I didn't think we'd be this good off, if I'm honest with you. But, yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, Charlton score. Ooh. I'll go for 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Tight victory. Thought Dons will be in the relegation battle. Ooh, no way. Surely you didn't think that. I thought you were going to be well up at the top. Yes, again, always love going to Portsmouth. Probably my favourite away game of the season. Top 3 fan bases, Sunderland, Wednesday, Portsmouth. Yeah, I can agree with that. So it's a big shout. Very big shout. Again, we're going to end today's stream here. Again, just a bit of a recap on Saturdays and Tuesdays games. And again, some big games Saturday. We should have a show Monday evening. We should be back on the Monday evening slot. Again, there'll always be a League One show, just with work and other commitments at the minute. It's been a bit difficult. But again, do you think Joey will get promoted? I think he'll get you in the playoffs. I'm not going to say anything more than that. But again, we're going to end today's stream here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I do really appreciate it. It's been a good show. Again, so much to play for. We'll have a Monday evening show. Remember, guys, if you are new to the channel, please remember to like and subscribe. If you are new, get subscribed. And we are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. A big over and out for me. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in today.
You're welcome.
I don't know what Siri's popping up for there.